Greetings, Elder Blacklight. Now, when you cast out devils, you got to cut off the head of the main devil, or Satan, and the other little devils and demons, which is the body of Satan. They will die. Now, you got to go back to Jekyll Island, around in the 19 between 19 I believe it was '09 or something, around there to 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed. Now, in the Bible, it says that let me read something very significant in the Bible. It says, for all nations, this is Revelations chapter 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, that's why you got all these cats fighting, Saudi Arabia and Iran, Iraq, all over there, where they got abundance of oil, and in Africa they got, I don't forget what you call it, but it's something that goes in the computer, some kind of alloyed particle that goes into the phones and the computers that only Africa has. And of course, Satan is over there dealing with them now, and they can corrupt it, those brothers and sisters over there, and they got them fighting against each other. And over here, we fighting against each other, but they done wore out the United States. Ain't too much, they got fires and tornadoes and droughts and stuff. Ain't too much left over here. A little bit of gold here. They still got some little bit of oil, but they know it ain't enough to. They're using this oil over here as reserves. They don't want Islam over here for two reasons: to wake people up to the ancient wisdom. They want to make like they came up with this, with this pale-faced Jesus, pale-faced Moses, and all them. But they didn't come up with it. And so I went and got this book. Brother turned me on to it. You can see it. And this one part, broad principles, says, besides law consists of broad principles which cover not only the change in life, but also a wide range of acts and transactions. For example, God has permitted trade and forbidden riba, interest, or which means interest or usury. It is Quranic. It is the Quranic verse wherein the word trade is a general term. In other words, you could trade. You know, Allah permits trade. Any kind like that. But it has parameters as far as interest. In other words, there's no interest. So over here in the United States, we pay interest and late fees for money. It says here, the United States is bankrupt. It has been since 1933. The government has no gold or silver as required by the Constitution. We read that in the previous video. So I want to go back over it right now. The point I'm trying to make is they making y'all sign bogus contracts, bogus laws, but it was only meant for they people, the Caucasians. But since a lot of our leaders want to integrate into the system, the devil say, well, if they, this is what they want to do. We're trying to keep them out, but they want to do. All you got to do is say something is forbidden to a nigga, and he gonna want it. So they said the white man said his woman was forbidden, and that's why you see so-called brothers grabbing white women, and so-called black women grabbing white men. It goes both ways. So they tricking us, making us think that dollar is valuable, worth something, but it's not worth anything. Some more tricks. It's got brothers on the avenue killing each other over this piece of paper. This piece of paper right here is worthless. This one and this silver certificate, you're supposed to go and redeem it for this dollar silver certificate. You're supposed to be able to redeem it for some silver. That's a lie. So what they gonna do is change up this kind of currency. They're gonna put it on a computer, on a chip, and it ain't got no value, but it's just digits. But they're gonna trap you into that system, and you're not gonna be able. You think you're not gonna be able to get out, because it's what you really think that matters. What you think is what matters, not so much as they're trying to put emphasis on people matter. We don't want to mass murder people, but it's what the people think that causes mass murder. It's what people think that pulls the trigger. It's what people think is what they bow down to. So thought is the God. And thought manifests into words, and words manifest into actions. You see? So when they put a thought into your mind and you react on it, like they say this is luxury. See, a black man in the in his in the prime time, when he was in his prime time, he could read minds. He could astral travel. He could look into crystals. He could heal himself through crystals. He could gold and all that had a different meaning. Gold and silver had different meanings. You know, one day we'll get into that. Brothers trying to get up on it now. You know, they're trying to get up on crystals and gold. You know, see that wisdom and knowledge has been hidden from us, and the Caucasoid been sitting on top of it over there in the Vatican. You know, and withholding it from the masses of the people, black or white. You know, that's how they able to rule you. That's how your leaders are able to rule you. The ones that's in secret societies and masons and sororities. But when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came, he said, I'm going to tell you the truth openly. And y'all rejected him. This is Black Light. Stay tuned.